Hi, it's Alison from Ancestral Kitchen here. Welcome to the first of 3 videos on sourdough grains, polenta, porridge and polenta bread. And this first video is going to be on sourdough porridge. I make that all the time for my family and I get questions all the time too. How do you do it? The process is quite simple and it's also really good. So I thought I'd show you in a video how to do it. First of all, let's talk about why you'd want to make sourdough or fermented porridge. Firstly, the benefits of fermentation, which are well documented. The grains will be pre-digested by the good bacteria, which means your body will have less work to do and you'll be able to get more from them. In addition, you'll actually get benefits from the little goodies that are in there, because when you cook up your porridge, contrary to popular belief, not all the good things are lost, you still get benefits. In addition, sourdough porridge tastes amazing. Most people who have started doing it have said to me that they just can't go back to normal porridge. So that is a good thing in my book. So let's talk about what you need. First of all, you need a container to put your flaked or rolled grains into. You could use a metal bowl like this, or you can use a glass container. You'll need a cover for that container too. Here, I'm just using a plate. Here I've got a waxed cloth. You'll need your grains, obviously, which are rolled or flaked. They don't have to be oats. You can do this with any grain that you could flake. So you could do it with rye, you could do it with farro, you could do it with barley. You could do it with the non-gluten grains as well. Other grains, like I've seen flaked quinoa, you could use. In addition to that, you need something to actually start the fermentation with. I generally use sourdough starter, discard, because I have it around the house. But you could use anything that's got live bacteria in it. So you could use kefir, you could use yogurt, and either of those could be milk or nut milk versions. You could even use water kefir. You can use whey, you could use sourdough starter, as I said. You could use sauerkraut juice, that's the one that you can't really taste it in it because you've used such a small amount, or you could use apple cider vinegar. As I said, anything that's got some live bacteria in it. Okay, so now you know what you need, let's talk about how to do it. I've got some flaked oats here. You can see them, they're looking really gorgeous. This is 230 grams of oats, which is about 2.5 cups, I think. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to cover them with ample water. This comes from a filter, so it's got a lot of the chlorine removed. If you don't have a water filter, you can leave your water out overnight, and the sitting helps some of the chlorine evaporate. So I've covered with really ample water. And then I've got my sourdough discard here, and all I'm going to do is literally take maybe half a teaspoon. You see roughly how much I've got of that there. And I'm going to put that in to my porridge, plops in, and then I'm going to stir it really well to help it break up a bit in the water. Any other starter that you use, so if you're using yogurt or you're using kefir, you just put a good tablespoon in and give it a stir, and that will work. So once this is all stirred in, which mine will be in a moment, all you need to do is cover it and then leave it ideally somewhere warm. In the spring and the autumn and the summer here in Italy, I just leave mine on the counter, on the side. But in winter, I have a warm place where I leave it, because the warmer you can keep it, the quicker it will ferment. Make sure you don't fill it up too high in your container. You can see the water's not so high, because as it ferments, it will bubble. And if you've got it too high in your container, it might make a mess and go everywhere. So once you've stirred it in, literally cover it and leave it somewhere warm. If you don't have much time, don't worry. You could just leave it for a few hours, 6 hours, and you still get the benefits. Generally, I leave mine for longer. I like to leave mine 24 hours overnight if possible. If you leave it longer than 24 hours, it's a good idea to take the lid off and stir it every 24 hours. I mean, sometimes I leave mine 3 days, but I stir it every day in that case, because the surface of the oats is exposed to oxygen and you don't want any bad things growing on the top, and stirring will help redistribute it and oxygenate your ferment as well. Once these are done, you'll start to smell the ferment. They'll smell more sour. You might see bubbles. You can see from this one, which has been going for a day, that also often they separate with the oats going to the top, and that's a sign of the fermentations. These ones are done, and I'm going to cook these up soon. So once they're ready and you're happy, you literally just put them in a saucepan with extra water if you need to taste, and cook them up. If you're not ready to cook them when they look like they're fermented, just pop them in your fridge, and you can leave them in there for a week and then just pull them out when you're ready to ferment them. Regarding eating them, they're really good with any type of fat, so with some cream, with some butter, and we all know, you've seen tons of porridges with the gorgeous sweet things on the top. I like mine savoury, so once mine's cooked up, I love to put miso and olive oil and linseed on mine and stir that in. But they're good every way, and they have a really nice kind of sour zing to them. You can feel the fizziness on your tongue. They're a really exciting food to eat. And that's it, really. If you like what I'm up to with my sourdoughing, then I have a newsletter that comes out semi-regularly. If you want to sign up for that, go to the top of any of the pages on my website, www.ancestralkitchen.com, and pop your details in. And keep listening, because I'm going to move on to sourdough polenta and sourdough polenta bread in the next two videos.